Today, we will be installing Microsoft Windows NT Workstation for PowerPC on my PowerPC laptop, which is a favorite PowerBook G4, which is only possible because this model just happens to use the Apple Desktop Bus for its keyboard and mouse, which means it doesn't need USB support. So this should work, technically. I've done it once before, and it worked, kind of. Yeah, so I just erased the drive, so it should be a fresh start. Yeah, so I'm going to pop you over to the other computer, and we are going to, I'm going to show you how, well, the first steps you need. So, of course, we still have the good setup where I don't film the camera itself, or the screen. Anyway, so main thing is you need this Mac NT Tosh thing. PowerPC Windows NT purported to Power Macintosh systems. Very simple. And we have a Mac 99 and a PowerBook G4. I think I have a PowerBook 5, 4. So it will work. Yeah. And this tutorial here. The thing is, I added an issue here, but we need Mac 99. For some reason, this Mac 99 only contains the Grackle stuff, like this. It doesn't contain any of the Mac 99 stuff we need. So if you do this on a Mac 99 architecture, like the ones I said, you gotta go with 0.2. And I opened an issue here. Does not contain Mac 99 firmwares. So that's fun. And then the copy, I could use my real copy, my nice copy, but I don't know if it has Service Pack 1 on it, so we're just going to use this because it's already set up, and it should just work, technically. So yeah, Service Pack 1, PowerPC, so it just work. Yeah, so I have this burned to a DVD, and this one you can just pop onto a USB using the etcher. Yeah, using Belena etcher, which works well. So, after that, pretty simple. But first, we gotta know why Microsoft decided to start marketing compiling Windows NT for these different architectures. I didn't know you could. What the? Oh, that's new. Wait. Okay, well, I never knew you could type here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so on accident, I just started to type. I don't know how. That's neat. Can I? Thinking to. Oh, okay, now it's done. I did not know you could type in verbose. And to boot into Open Firmware, you do Command, Alt, or Command Option and O and F for Open Firmware, and it should just appear. I do want my disk out. Maybe. There you go. Cool. I can't spell eject. Can't open the eject device. You just type eject CD. Eject space CD. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was easy. So, now, finally, we can read why Microsoft decided to compile it for different architectures. And this is from the Windows NT Resource Guide for NT 3.5. So, there's two things. See if I can freeze that, or just... When users first look at Microsoft Windows NT, Windows NT is a preemptive multitasking operating system based on 32-bit design. Security and networking services based on provides compatibility with many other operating systems, file systems, networks. It runs on both complex instruction set computing, CISC, or RISC, reduced instruction set computing. It also supports high-performance computing by providing kernel support for computers that have symmetric processor configurations. And the Windows NT design goals that we're going to focus on are portability. Portability means that Windows NT can run on both CISC and RISC. PowerPC is a RISC. CISC includes computers running with the Intel 8036 or higher. RISC includes the MIPS or Alpha. And PowerPC was compiled later for this. So, and of course it has other stuff. Basically, if you want it embedded, you go to Windows NT or OS2, which Windows NT was kind of the proper successor to OS2, which is the main thing. But it's not an upgraded version of an earlier product. It's began with a clean sheet of paper. Of course, as we all know, Windows x86 is CISC, as it never removes an instruction set. Or else backwards compatibility goes bye-bye. Anyway, let's install it. So, we do first is take our USB, plug it in. We're also going to take our CD, which I burned, and plug that in. Okay, so what we want to do is do probe USB multi-boot, just like that. Focus. Yeah, and you hit enter, and it should. Yeah, it lights up the USB, and it reads this for a little bit. So there's our USB. Can zoom you in. It has a Windows flag along with a little USB logo, which is pretty cute. Oh, perfect. Okay, so USB selected, only thing, hit enter, and it'll boot. So next, what we do, let's make sure you can see, is we want to do, oh my god, just stay there, okay? Run firmware. We just want to repartition disk, click, and for this, I'll go with 2000, as if you do around the 8000 mark, it'll you have to redo the setup. It'll find errors. Also, 2 gigabytes is a lot for this. What do you need? Oh, you just need, of course, 110 megabytes. So you have more than enough. 2000. Let's create a Mac partition. I'll usually go with 5.7.1.2.3. Enter. Finish partitioning. Yes, it's pretty quick. And it restarts. Okay. We're done with the firmware setup, I believe. Check, yes. Exit. We're in program. We want to do cd : /PowerPC setup LDR for something. You'll notice, if you can see, there we go. It'll realize, oh no, we don't know what this is. You hit other, enter, and somehow, this is what happened before. For some reason it memorizes, I don't know how, I just reset the hard drive as you saw. But this is what happens. None of these will work, because these are all Grackle systems. Actually, I'll show you what happens. Choose anything, it doesn't matter. So after it restarts, I realize you gotta boot back to the USB. For some reason it does that. I don't know why. Hopefully someday it'll be fixed. Anyway, you couldn't determine, we don't need that right now. That's fine. It's not gonna do anything. Open firmware frame buffer. And it'll crash right after it loads the CD-ROM driver. Nice. And the error, if you can read it, is Mac I/O controller not found, yada yada, we know that, but that's normal. Could not, the HAL is designed for Power Macintosh with Grackle. So, what you gotta do is power off the computer. Just let it out of its VMRAM. Power it off, power it back, power it on, and boot back to open firmware. Back here. Nice. And it'll say error for some reason. Now we do probe, oops, USB multi-boot. And it'll boot. Okay, now it should have all options. There we go. So we are in an Apple PowerBook G4, which is what we are. So to load that, it should start loading other things. Specify other, and you just do both of these. Mac I/O controller, PowerMac hardware interface device. Enter, just like a normal Windows NT setup. Other, we're obviously going to go with frame buffer. I can speak regular, not N3X. Now it doesn't fail. As you can see, it loads properly. There. That means it just loads the kernel, or just loaded the kernel. Multiprocessor for some reason, sure. And then it does this, which is kind of funny. It shrinks down to this, so it's not stretched. Anyway, we have all our things are done. Page down is FN and then down key. I almost got stuck up on that. F8, pretty easy. Gotta switch keyboard layout to the AT, and you also can't see. And you change pointing device to no mouse or other, and all this other is correct. And we hit enter, select. I want to go with the 2001. Used partition, sure. Let's go with the NTFS, I love it. And it should work. Now don't examine my hard disks. Oh, let's go. Okay, cool. So now it'll install first section. And I'm going to restart the recording when it's finished with this. Okay, a couple minutes later, we're at the restart. So now we're going to hit restart. And we shouldn't have to touch it because it should boot to the hard drive. Windows NT Workstation. Loads surprisingly quickly, thanks to an SSD upgrade. I mean, this is still the slowest part right here, but now it should be all formatted, so it should start loading. Yeah, but see, recognized one system processor. NTFS realizes, oh, it's already NTFS. And we should be at some sort of setup screen. Yep. It's funny as it goes back to the 800 by 600, but keeps that up there. So I guess that's probably was made the text up here might have just been made to be in the corner, no matter what. Anyway, point is we are real Windows NT setup. So next, we want everything. We're obviously going to play a game of solitaire. Mouse is slow. Hey. Oops. No, that's correct. Name. PowerBook G. PowerBook G for NT4. Password. No, please don't. Next. And we want everything. We want the games, obviously. All 32 megabyte. 32. Ooh. All 3 megabytes. Next. Next. Networking we can't do, unfortunately, which is a big shame, but do not connect because you can't. And it'll configure, and we'll just set it to that. We don't need proper date. Omni buffer. We don't want to change this, or else it'll like kill itself. Don't hit test. It'll you can't. Whatever you don't hit test here up here, or else it'll crash per usual. You just gotta hit OK. It crashed last time, which wasn't fun. There it is. Nice. Windows NT Workstation 4.0 with Microsoft Internet Explorer. Control-Delete works. That'll works. And once we're logged in, that's basically whatever. And we're here. Yeah, so system, as you can see, it's Power Macintosh running on Windows NT. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like sound. I doubt it. Yeah, because there's definitely going to be no modem. But just play a quick game of solitaire, and we should be done. So programs, accessories, games, free cell, Minesweeper, solitaire, please. Okay. Oops. So yeah, cool proof of concept. You can install Windows NT on your Mac if you wanted to. Technically, you can with Windows 10, but that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all those fun things. I'll see you eventually in the next one. Maybe we can triple boot Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, but that'll be for later. So that's it. Bye bye. See you in the next one, whenever that is.